Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. How are you? How was your weekend if you celebrate those things, whether it was relaxing or if you work? How are things going for you? What's new in your world? Sybil's all over the place and playing around in the background. Today, I wanted to talk about clarity. We have Mercury going direct today. I'm so excited about that. Venus is conjuncting over here retrograde with Saturn direct in Pisces on Saturday or Sunday, depending on where you are on the planet. We're going to have Venus going direct. We're going to have the Sun conjunct Chiron and the full moon in Libra. What does any of that mean, Sarah? It means that when the planets all go direct, it's things are moving forward. We're making moves. Things, whether they be internal or external, just feels like time kind of speeds up a little bit. From now until May, when Pluto goes retrograde, this is the last chunk of time. Starting on Saturday, Sunday, this will be the last chunk of time in 2025 that we have all of the planets going direct. So it might feel as though with this week, it's kind of like I really want to break it down in lenses because there's a reason that I incorporated rest as well into it, is that we might be feeling a little bit of coming out of this fog, coming out of this, oh my goodness, like the planets are direct, so I should have clarity. I'm feeling clear in relationships. I'm feeling clear in myself. I'm feeling clear, wherever this Mercury retrograde by itself was falling in your chart, you might feel like, okay, I understand things a little bit better. I understand, the house of soul purpose and healings and closures and coming home. This is also the health axis. So it could be I'm recognizing that this habit isn't the healthiest, or I'm recognizing I want to be healthier. I want to have more energy. I want to go this way. We're also coming into a full moon. So it's kind of like we're having one wave end as another is coming in at the same time. And it might be a little bit like, okay, I'm supposed to feel clear. I'm supposed to feel this, but I'm exhausted and I'm sleeping 1,000 hours a night. And I wake up and I'm tired and I'm trying to do things. We have a growth mindset around here. We're leaders. We are running our lives. We're all busy. And so it might feel a little bit frustrating at the same time. We're like, I'm resting and then I'm resting and then I'm tired and then I'm supposed to have clarity, but I don't have full clarity. Good morning, Megan. It's so good to see you. It's so good to see you. And so allowing ourselves to feel everything that we're feeling as it comes up, And so I'll pull some cards and then I'll share a little bit because I think I told you guys that I plopped. Yeah, that I plopped a day last week and I needed it. I felt it coming and I felt Sybil is afoot. I apologize if you can hear her rummaging around. This is good. I really like this. We want to make moves. One major. So that's 3 10s. 3 10s. Okay, I love this. So I want us to, okay, so I plopped on Thursday of last week. And yesterday, everybody knows, or most people know that on Sunday, good morning. On Sundays, I try my best to relax and to not really have any expectations. I try my best not to respond to emails unless they're absolutely pressing. And I just kind of let myself be a little bit human and hang out with God and Sybil and just snack and just do some things. So I was doing that yesterday. And I had this moment where, good morning. I had this moment where, I could sense a little bit in my belly, my solar plexus chakra going into my sacral. I could sense this tension, this weird tension. And I just kind of sat up. Good morning, Jess. Good morning. And I just kind of sat up. I do that all the time. It's so okay. And I'm like, no question marks. I'm just I'm Ariesing and trying to get it all out. So I had this moment where it was coming up and I just sat up and I was like, okay, what's coming up? What emotion needs to come up? Is it frustration? Is it anger? Is it, my inner teenager? Like who's talking? What's going on? Because it's like I was relaxing and plopping and having my Sunday, and then this like all of a sudden this like came up. I was like, what is it? What is it? And I just literally, when I ask those types of things, I don't ever judge what comes out of my mouth, because it's like if you're talking to your inner teenager, if you're talking to your inner child, they're allowed to say whatever it is that they need to say. And we don't say, well, that was wrong or that was this. We just allow those things to come up. And so the first thing that like popped out of my mouth was lonely. I'm lonely. And I was like, okay, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. Like that was a beautiful share. That was a beautiful moment. It was like maybe like within the hour, Sybil had come up and just was like sleeping right on top of the entire thing. And it was just like a moment of saying it and then immediately receiving good morning, what it was that I needed. We can get so caught up in the doing. Like I'd even woken up yesterday morning and I was like trying to write my blog, trying to do this and trying to do that and trying to do this. I was like, Sarah, it's okay to allow yourself to be within this without creating something. I had like one of the best coaching calls I've ever had on Saturday, like ever had, ever had. It touched my heart. I'm so grateful for my membership group, for that community. I'm just so beyond words grateful. Like it was just like one of the coolest moments. Good morning. Good morning. Jonathan, it's so good to see you. Feels like a calm before the storm energy around. It really does. It really does. There's like this, I mean, like the air feels quiet a little bit. Like, what's happening here? What's happening? And what I had said earlier kind of feels like one wave is ending while the other is beginning at the same time. And I want us to really be kind to ourselves as things come up, and kind to ourselves in a sense where the emotion, hello, that we're experiencing, that's not us. For the past few weeks, we talked about like giving them a label, giving it a word, giving it whatever it may be, and allowing it to be its own entity in and of itself. When we experience anxiety, when we experience, what's it called? A craving, when we have an addictive craving, it's like, I'm experiencing this. I'm not this, but I'm experiencing. It's like the fat analogy. I'm not the fat, but I can smell the fat. I can smell this coming up. I can experience right here, and I know that it's happening. It's outside of me, though. It's not me. And it's kind of it's a fascinating thing when it comes to our mind and when it comes to our thoughts, because we're not all of our thoughts. We're not our mind, but our brain can convince us that we are. It was a phrase that a friend of mine had said a while ago when it comes to anxiety or depression, where your brain can lie to you in your own voice. So it's very fascinating. Been bawling my eyes out for the past few days. Aries moon, I'm feeling so much. Yes, yes, yes. Rest when you need to. Rest when you don't need to. Keep resting and feeling all of that. This Neptune transit, I feel like all of a sudden it's like this, what? What's up? What's going on? What's happening? I think it was Pam Gregory where she equated Neptune transits. No, it was one of my reference books. I apologize. It was not my original words, but Neptune transits, it's kind of like you walk into a room and you're like, why did I walk in here? What did I need? What did I need? Definitely getting a lot of clarity and a lot of things. They've just been popping out of nowhere. That's beautiful. Jubilee, I love that. I love that. I'm so excited for you. Please jot them down, journal, get them out, let them be these bubbles, let them be those realizations, and let them kind of flow. Let them just be, and let that happen so naturally. So naturally. Things with Mercury going direct today and Venus conjuncting with Saturn. I'm really interested in that because it feels as though Venus, our yin, our abundant planet, the way we love, the way we give and receive love, that's still retrograde, meeting up with Saturn, that interdisciplinarian, but that structural planet says, awesome, clarity, beautiful. It says to me that what it is that we desire wants to have a solid foundation, and we want it to feel permanent. We want it to feel, we know that we go through seasons of life, but it might be like, No, I want my dreams to become a reality. I want what it is that I've been focused on to have its solid foundation. So I really love that. And I really do feel as though Mercury switching around and moving forward, those ideas are going to become a little bit more like the long range goals are going to have steps 1, 2, and 3 coming about, if that makes sense. Like maybe in the past little bit, we've been like, no, 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 I really do want to stay focused on this goal. That's really what I want. With Venus and Mercury retrograde, we're like, no, that is my North Star. That's where I'm going. And I don't care how big it is or how strange it is or how different it is or how outside of my paradigm that I'm in right now. That's where I'm going. And I feel as though this week is going to bring those bigger realizations that say, here's a few steps. Here's a few action steps. Here's a few tools that you can use. Here's a few people that you can connect with. Here's a community that you can participate in or start, whatever that may be, whatever that may be. So I love that we have 3 10s. 3 10s. These are completed cycles. Completed cycles. The cups reversed, I don't think of as a difference. I just think of it as like some cloud in the sky. And I love when the 10 of swords comes reversed because it's like, to me, 11, 11, that was beautiful. To me, this says like the swords fall out. Start nurturing our goals. Can't ditch them when we're bored of the mundane tasks need done. Feel like energy preparing for next energy cycle. Yes. Yes, Jonathan. I really, really agree with you on that. It does. It feels like there's a huge new cycle that's coming for a lot of people. And 1010, I saw that one this morning. Yeah, I like that one. I like that one. It's so beautiful when we start to really see. And I love that we really value the angel numbers around here because to this day, it still buckles me. It still buckles me. Even when I see like 88 is one that I've been seeing a lot, 808 is one that I've been seeing a lot, and it still gets me. Like on license plates, I'm like, it just never stops being magical and beautiful and wonderful and just so special in every capacity. And really going to that gratitude every day as often as we possibly can. And really, I feel as though allowing ourselves to rest when we need to, because we forget that when we do something in this world, whether it be we did a tarot reading for someone, or we said something to someone, or we had a session with someone, or we did a whatever it may be, that energy continues far long after that moment. That our positive energy, the vibration, the intention of giving could be, being a healthy mom and doing something amazing for your children and taking care of them. That energy goes throughout time and space. So when it's time for you to really nourish and nurture yourself, that's one thing that, Venus is going to direct full moon. That's one thing for all of us. I really want us to integrate is that I don't want you to have to wait for a burnout or a retrograde or even a full moon to celebrate or to take a day or an afternoon or to do something nice for yourself. I want you to really always include yourself in the equation when you're doing nice things for people. When you think of who's somebody that needs something today, those are some of the Brendan Burchard, he's a high performance coach. And years ago, there was something that he said, it was the 3 questions that he asks himself every day, which could be helpful, which is, what am I most excited about today? What could trip me up and how could my best self handle it? Like visualizing something that could trip you up and then visualizing your best self handling it so that if anything does come up, you're like, oh my God, I got this. And then the third question he would ask was, how can I surprise someone that I love? How can I surprise someone that I love? And I want us to really include ourselves. And when we have those morning check-ins with ourselves, how am I feeling today? However you do it, is it like a scale? Is it feeling 100% myself? I'm feeling 70% myself. Is it, I'm experiencing this, I'm experiencing joy, bliss? Do you just allow those words to come up? However that may be. But sometimes it's okay to say, I kind of need to just like take myself for a cup of tea. or a cup of coffee. I kind of need to really have a moment where maybe you need a spa day, but that's not within my realm. So I'm just going to take a nice bubble bath today. I want to really learn from retrograde cycles and not wait for them to come to do these types of things. I really want us to take something from the Mercury retrograde and the Venus retrograde. Mercury retrograde, I feel like clarity is just like that's the beautiful thing that's coming from this, and also how we navigated that retrograde and really went inward. I'm happy this is resonating. But really with Venus, we don't need to wait for a retrograde. It doesn't happen every year. We don't need to wait for these ear markers. And this is coming from an astrologer. So like I'm hitting my own buttons at the same time. So I'm offering to you, we can't, this is beautiful. When we break the mold of a cycle as well, when we step out of our habitual routines and do something different, we actually invite new energy in. I just like love that. This is just coming to me right now. So when we don't wait for a full moon to celebrate, when we decide to take a rest day, even though all planets are direct, when we choose actively to slow down and take a breath and express a few gratitudes and stretch in between tasks and dance around and say, you know what, it's raining, but I'm still going to go dance in the rain. I'm still going to do this. I'm going to continuously move forward. But when we know that it's only our lane, there's no traffic in our lane, our fold, our manifestation, whatever it may be, can't be taken from us because it's only meant for us. So we can take a nap. We can relax. We can move slowly. And I feel as though, especially when all planets are direct, I think it was last year when all planets were direct, it was the beginning of the year. And it was like in Aries. And I just remember a moment being like, I just felt like time was going so quick. And I was like, oh my God, I just need a moment. I need to sit down. And so it's a beautiful thing to allow yourself those moments to slow down. And I feel as though that's when clarity bursts in new ways. And when we break the cycle and the mold and we do something different, that's when even more potent ideas come in. Because Saturn's in the mix with Venus, I just have this feeling that whatever clear messages are coming in are sustainable, they're healthy, they are abundant. And it might not be, because we change with seasons, we ebb and flow with the seasons of our life. We're not always going to have the same values, the same belief systems. We're going to continuously shift and change as we age, as we grow. But what is sustainable for us, what is the solid foundation, I feel like that is a very clear message that's going to be coming to us right now. And just being what we're in and focusing on, let's see, what's some medicine that we can really learn from? Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, yes. I love when he's reversed. This literally just every time I see him reverse, I'm like, this is clear thinking, and we're looking at things. I feel as though we're looking at ourselves, maybe situations that we're in. Maybe they're not ideal, but we're not viewing them through the person that created the scenario. We're viewing them through the person that we are now, if that makes sense. It's like maybe we were maybe in a job that we don't really fully love. But instead of saying like, oh, I can't believe I've stayed here for so long, we're saying, you know, I really learned what a no is because I've been in this environment that maybe was a 7 out of 10, maybe it was a 10 out of 10 when I got the job, and it's given me the freedom to do all the other things in my life. So I don't hate myself for being here, but I'm just looking at my options and my opportunities moving forward with fresh eyes. It can be, oh, these are the cards. I don't know if I showed you. This is first decan Aries energy here. And I love, this is really walking away from situations. This is really walking away from something that's not for us, but really walking towards something that is. Again. I love this card. And there's so many of you that are shining right now. And so many of you are just stepping into your entrepreneurial space, your, being a spiritual entrepreneur, being a light worker, doing whatever it is that you're doing, Yes, exactly, Jonathan. Yes, making the best of what we have and using the tools that we have to our advantage. Maybe in the future we see ourselves having the best this, our own shop, our own this, or everything's clear. But right now we're doing what we can in what we're in the season of life that we're in. I had a friend. I had mentioned my first video in my it was the full moon in Libra, the clarity video that I just put out. And I mentioned my first video, so she went back and she watched it. My first video was about my socks. Definitely. Good. It was about my mix match socks and how I always wear mix match socks. And it was in COVID time. So I was like, well, I'm not going to take a picture of my feet every day just to show you that I'm different and interesting. So there was an aspect of identity that had taken away. And it was I just knew I needed to record videos every day. It wasn't just about astrology. I was still studying astrology. I was stepping out of corporate and into the more spiritual space. But it's that tenacity that she referenced in the comment. And I want to really honor all of you that even if we feel as though I just wasted a day. I just wasted an absolute day. It was in February when I was moving my website over to its new space where it is now. I'd love for all of you to go visit and let me know what you think. I absolutely love the website. And there's a few moments where I judged myself where I was like, you spent days of your life making that other website. You spent days and now you have to redo the whole thing. And I just stopped myself. I stopped my brain. I'm getting a little bit more efficient in website design, and I know what it is that I like and I know what it is that I don't like. And there was a season where I absolutely know how to make a website. So now I'm really proud of myself for the fact that I have that skill set. No matter what season of life we're in, we are learning something. Remember where you came from. Remember the fact that you, in an older season, like when you were younger in a season of life, prayed for the life that you're living right now. We are living the life of the dreams of a past version of ourselves. And we're actually creating that future version of ourselves with our thoughts, words, actions, and intention. And staying present as well with gratitude in the middle, remembering that that's the easiest, like really leading with gratitude connects you to all versions of yourself. And being in a love space and in a joyful space and in a fun space connects you to all those versions of yourself, accepting yourself at every stage. That's how I feel as though, I'd love to ask you, when do you feel in flow state? When do you feel like I could do this? Like sometimes for me, it's when I'm dancing or I'm just like literally rolling around in paint on a canvas and I'm just like, I forget about food. When I'm pulling tarot cards, when I do tarot parties, when I do this, like I forget about everything. When do you feel you're in a flow state where things are just coming in and you're just having fun? Like when I'm dancing out in public, when I'm just like having a great time, I feel like I'm in flow. So how do you feel that you're in flow? Like when do you feel you're most in flow? And how often do you do that activity? How often do you do that? And this isn't something that you have to monetize. This isn't something that you have to say when I'm working or when I'm doing this, because like it's just me on a canvas when I'm around the paint. So how are you in flow state? When are you in flow state? And when are you vibing? When I'm cooking or out in nature, I love that. Do you follow more recipes or do you just kind of like little bit of that? Time to make some fun recipes. I'm excited. I'm so excited. This is good. And with the clarity, remember, it's when clarity comes, beautiful. I love that. There have been times that I've cooked meals that like as I'm actively eating them, I'm crying because I'm like, there's no recipe. I will never taste this. It's so good. Noticing the moments when I get to be silly, like dancing in the mornings, dancing with my dog to music, feeding animals outside my window, just smile and feel lighter. Oh, clear, yes. Usually try to jump into the next decision, but I see that I'm in flow and at ease when I'm doing yoga, stretching and listening to music. That is beautiful. And allowing those moments that it's a beautiful thing to have that tenacity. Just got into gardening. Oh my goodness, gardening, that is so beautiful. And like just an idea recommendation, talking to yourself and talking to plants while you're gardening, talking to the universe, God of your understanding, like bring your problems to the dirt, my friends. And just like such a clearing activity to do. It's so beautiful and clearing. I just picture like all the elementals when I'm gardening. It's so much fun. And reminding ourselves when we're in flow and we're receiving, yes, good, 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 good. When we're in flow and we're receiving those clear messages and those clear downloads, talking to everything feels good, dude. It's so true. It is so true. It's funny. I make the joke sometimes, like when you see me coming, I'm just talking to, like, this doesn't end. I'm just talking to myself at all times. I'm picking up groceries. I'm in the car. I'm in the woods, and I'm just like, there's just the entourage of Sarah and all of her spirit team, and we're just like, the conversation never slows down. It's beautiful. But I've done this as well when I'm on my yoga mat and I get a clear idea where I'm like, get off the mat and go do it and go create it and make that program and do the thing. But sitting with the flow and letting it, dude, and letting it sure, letting it the bigger idea that comes from it, and maybe just connecting to the breath and letting it come in instead of just jumping at the gate and being like, that's a little idea. It's like, let them paint the picture, let the whole bit of clarity come. So I feel like clarity's birthing, clarity's showing itself, our two retrograde planets going direct. What I want us to do is sit with the idea and the realization and the clarity and just express gratitude for it as it barrels in, embracing it and challenging myself to be in it. Yes, yes. So the analogy that's been coming to me, and it's, picture that you just ran a marathon. Like you literally just ran those 26 miles. And at the end of the marathon, you decided, I want to run my first 30 miler. Like I did this, I want to push it. It's as if we would try to get up and start running in that moment, those 31 miles, instead of sitting with the realization and saying, wow, that's a clear new goal that I'm going to be working towards now. And I have a clear step 1, 2, and 3 that's going to get me there. So I'm going to be in this and be in this gratitude of, wow, I have the path, have the path. I feel like I'm in flow when I'm watching my hamster be a hamster and making things for him. That's so beautiful, Jess. Oh my God, I love that. I love that. Like animals and being within that natural space is just like, it's so pure. It's so pure. It's just, I love that. I love that. It's so beautiful the way that I have a little film that usually goes over my windows, and I opened it up so Sybil could kind of like look out the window and look around, and like her engagement with the other animals. Like there's a turkey that walked by yesterday. She's looking around and then finally she spotted it and she's like, what is that? What is that? And it was just the coolest thing. And this turkey was by itself, which was very fascinating. Usually I see him in pods around here, but it was the first one that I'd seen in a while. So I've really challenged all of us, myself included, to be with the clarity and just so excited for it and be with it and be present with it and just remind ourselves that we are now the vessel to hold that energy. Because when an idea comes, when a clear mission comes, like Jubilee said, like I'm cooking more now and I'm going to be doing this. When that idea comes, it only came because of the inner work and we were ready to unlock it. I don't want us to go like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't think of that before. Oh my God, I just spent all this time resting and now I have like, I wasted all that time, or I was building that website and I was just wasting my time. I was wasting. I want us to be with it. Thank you. The clear message, the clear idea came because of all the time that I spent resting. What if all the lessons that you learned were the only reason that the clarity came? You know, that we utilized the Mercury and the Venus retrograde energy is how we're going to navigate moving forward. I think this is resonating. I think this makes sense. There's something else that I wanted to talk about today. I can't remember what it was. Might have been the moon in Leo and just having, oh yeah, the moon is going to transit over the place of the Leo moon. Like I love when that happens. Where is it right now? The moon was at 16, 17 degrees of Leo. And kind of when it makes those aspects to certain areas, it's like when the moon's in Capricorn or in late degrees Capricorn, I'm like, oh my God. I remember Pluto. I remember. And really being in that jovial space. I love the Leo moon. Does anyone have a Leo moon in here? I want to say yes. I want to say yes. There's a Leo moon in the group, but I can't remember, so I apologize. But Leo placements, please let me know. It's also okay. That's what I was going to talk about. Yes, Leo moons. Leo moons. It's such a good time. I just feel like sometimes I just put on the gold. I'm just like, yeah, this is a good time. It's a good time. I did want to talk about Sagittarius because for some reason there's felt this like space in Sagittarius area of the chart that I was like, yeah, we're not going to have any planets in Sag for a little while. Like we're going to have like obviously the moon, things like that. But there is something about Sag with like all this heavy excitement over here in Aries and the moon being in Leo. It just felt like I never want us to forget about the adventure. I never want us to forget about the quest and, all the fun, big things, because I feel as though so many of us are in this scene of going from A to B, kind of like in it. And we're enjoying the celebration. We're enjoying all the fun. We're enjoying the journey. We've attached the dopamine to the process, but we're in a bit of a rocky montage. And so I feel like sometimes we can equate Sag to like a massive party, a massive good time, all the big things. And I want to try to find those wins in more of a day. Leo, Moon, and Jupiter. That is insanely cool. That is so beautiful. Jupiter and Leo. Are they conjunct or are they separate? Sorry, every once in a while I'm like, my tism just goes crazy. It's beautiful. Beautiful. So I never want us to forget, especially in a fire sign season of Aries, I never want us to forget our other fire sign placements, our other fire sign capabilities. 2 degrees apart. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. Oh my goodness. That's pretty expansive. That's a very in-depth intuition that you've got there, my friend. Not to project that on you, but it must be very like big and aware and expansive. And you're right most of the time. And I just don't want us to ever forget the flow state. That's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I don't want to ever forget that this day is what we have. And although we have big goals, although we have big desires, I don't want us to forget how fun and how blessed we are along the way and along the journey. Moon, Saturn, Jupiter together, 1 degree Libra. Yes, yes, usually right. Yes. Neptune rising, 1 degree of got Moon, Saturn, Jupiter together in 1 degree of Libra. That's powerful. That is so powerful. Expansive and but like the interdisciplinarian might scoot in and be like, "You're not right. Don't say it. I handle it," and stuff like that. But very like that's potent. Inner dialogue. Where's the Neptune rising? Where's your Mercury? Curious. I'd love to celebrate, try to get into that flow state as often as we possibly can, and remind ourselves that it's as important to the clarity and doing. It's like we have to have that space of clarity and then the space of doing and then the space of clarity and receiving and doing. Things are coming fast and easier than past. Sag rising, having a hard time letting self relax, feel like I have to accomplish quick, trying to let self slow in Aquarius feels like fire burning. Sun and Mercury 6, 7 cap. This is beautiful. This is so beautiful. It's the excitement and joy and the effervescence that we have. Dream cap 6, 7. It's powerful. I'm sorry. I'm just really inspired by a chart. That's really special. That's beautiful. That is just so beautiful. I just literally love reading charts, and I'd love to get to do for a living. And the same as the angel number, I'm like, the only problem is it's combust. it's early degrees Cap can be intense. I mean, any Cap placement in and of itself, it's like you're not messing around. You came here to really shift and change the way that the perspective of Capricorn functions in this world. I mean, Pluto already demolished all that, so there's a lot of the rebuilding, I guess, for lack of a better term, we get to do in our internal as well as our external. But very much early degree Capricorn placements, I feel it's like we're ancient novices, like have the inner code we're figuring out in this human life from a more humble place, if that makes sense. And I really want to honor and mention, like, down gets you to where you're going in a bit of a faster way. Whereas we can't just be going up and up and up and up and up. It'll crash. We can't like placid, but it's really making sure that we're making those bigger jumps, but then celebrating it along the way. Yes, personally, with so much fire and air in my chart, going back to that flow and not trying to rush is a constant. Yes, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And it takes that constant talking to ourselves and checking in with ourselves and saying, how am I doing today? Where am I going? How am I feeling? How does my body feel? Am I in my mind or am I in my heart? Am I in my belly? Am I grounded? And really checking in with ourselves on a daily basis and reminding ourselves that we can't be giving over and over and over again. We can't be producing over and over and over. When we feel those deep needs to rest, we know the bigger jump is coming. But if we allow ourselves this, I remember the analogy. And so beautiful, beautiful. So when I was growing up, Clarity's coming in blips for me today, so I apologize, everyone. But my favorite movie, one of my favorite Disney movies when I was a child was 101 Dalmatians. And that was the analogy that popped into my head today. You know when they're like trotting through the snow and they can't go any farther, and he's like, I have a little place for you to stay and rest. And they find the little hut, and then they get to like get milk and they get to rest. And it's like they still have such a long way to go. Like, oh my God. I could like any of those lines I could pick up like it was yesterday. And then and they're getting ready to go, and then they find the ride home, and all these opportunities start coming to them, and the trip becomes easier because they found the place to rest. It was like this epiphany that came to me that we cannot, even if our brains have convinced us that we can handle things, why not allow ourselves to rest and go slowly and enjoy the day and enjoy the journey and attach the dopamine to the process of life, because we're living the life of our dreams right now. And this way we're calm and we're prepared and we're ready, and we're setting that more solid foundation to level up in a way that feels natural to us, in a way that, okay, I know that at this time of the day I'm going to close my computer, put my phone on do not disturb, and not answer any more emails and just be with Sybil and do the thing. I know that regardless of how many or how few emails there are, that is my boundary, and I'm going to spend this time doing this. So that's the container that I've decided, regardless of anything, that that's what that is. When we're creating our own reality, when we're coming into our freedom, when we're becoming an entrepreneur, when we're running our own business, doesn't matter how busy or how not busy you are, you're creating these compartments in these containers. And a lot of what it is, like, it's becoming our future self is like living the life that they live and like doing the habits of what they do. My grand love, 101 Dalmatians, was her birthday yesterday. She passed in 2020. Have pictures of Dalmatians in my hallway. Oh my God, learned a lot watching your meditation videos. Oh my goodness, I am so grateful, Jonathan. I am so, so grateful. I'm so, so grateful, and really love to Gran. Happy birthday to Gran. And Aries, I love that. Happy birthday to Gran. And it really does, this time, and every day might be different. A few different times a day could feel a little bit different, but I want us to really be aware of where we are, love every bit of the process, allow clarity to come, and not rush it when it does. Like, be aware of it, write it down, just like we were talking about Jubilee at the beginning. Like, just things are coming in, new ideas, new downloads are coming in, just write them down. Say, I claim that. I claim that. That's mine. I'm definitely like, yes, I'm going to create time and space to be able to do this. I suffer from imposter syndrome, so it's hard to pursue my creative career. But right now I'm doing it and feeling so refreshing and amazing. Oh my God, Jane, I'm so excited. We're celebrating you. This is beautiful. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Oh, imposter syndrome. It is a nugget. It is just a really cuckoo pants nugget. And it's just can be such this is kind of weird, but it's like when you have imposter syndrome, it's almost like a validation that you're on the right path. Because it's like, you wouldn't get those intrusive thoughts. You wouldn't get all of that, like, no, don't do it. If you're like, no, I'm meant to thrive in this world. I'm meant to have something good for me. And I'm meant to do something with the intensity and the purity of my heart. Oh my goodness. We're just congratulating you, Jane. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you. That's a beautiful, thank you for sharing with the group. Thank you so much. Because it's so scary at first. It really is. And finding the way to say to your brain, I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to do it anyways. And reminding yourself that if you're getting an idea, if you're getting a clear download to create something, I don't care how big or how small or how minute or how whatever you labeled it is, that's from the universe. That's from God. That's only meant for you. You are the only person that can create that. All right, Sybil. Just playing with the water bottle. I'm so proud. I'm so proud. I'm so proud. We need, and it's something that Jonathan reminded me of. I'm going to say it again. We need the way that you do things. I can show you this tarot card, and all of my tarot readers, as well as every single person, even if you don't read tarot cards, you're going to have your own interpretation of it. That's good. We want that. I want the way that you see the world because you're the only person that can express the way that you see the world. So we need you to express the way that you see the world. We need your clarity. We need the way that you rest. We need the way that you are in flow. Yes, live in the abundance of you, Jonathan. I love that. I love that. You are an absolute, incredible, effervescent expression of this universe. We are all the universe, God, source, spirit, having a human experience. So it's time for us to show up. Best way to express that Leo moon is just show up. And I don't care how weird it is. I don't care how strange it is. I don't care how demure you think it is. I don't care how strange you think it is. Just show up the way that you want to show up. How you want to do it. How you want to do it. It's been a bit that this has come up as all the others. Lead with love. Lead with love. I try and live authentic to myself. Yes. That's all that's asked of you. That's it. We're not responsible for anybody else but our thoughts, words, actions, and intentions. Leading with love. That's it. You being abundant and powerful. And these are words that I love. And we talked about this, like the highest vibrational words, like free. I want you free. I want you love filled. I want you joy filled, because those are like abundant. I want you wealthy and moisturized and prosperous and just feeling great and sassy. These are some of my favorite words. So these are just offerings, but the most authentic, that could probably be a better word to use. I want you to feel like your most authentic self at all times. And I want you to feel safe to be that way, and supported and loved in every step and in every breath, in every sip of coffee at sea. I want you to just feel delightful, delicious, supported. Yeah. And when you lead from that intention, when you say, like, my intention is to, it's one of the phrases that I really love to use when I'm setting up to do any of my work. My intention is to offer the most accessible information of the highest and greatest good for all involved and invested, with no harm coming to any. The highest, from like the white light of God, resides in my voice box. I say that all the time. So when I lead with that, and then I get an intrusive thought, I know that's not mine. Because my intention is to lead with authenticity, with love, and with clarity. I'll be the first one to say if I don't know the answer to something, or if I'm not a master at something, or if this is my perspective and opinion, it's not doctrine. I say that 100 times. It's literally my disclaimer. So we can say that at all times. But when our intention is to do something for my greatest good, your greatest good, and all the greatest good for all involved and invested, that intention will guide us, Pages keep coming up, like use their energy, time, attention, authentic. Yes, curiosity. I love that. The pages are so much fun because we get to be a student. I love learning. I love it so much every single day. What are the things that we love about learning? What do we enjoy studying? King of Swords reversed, Queen, Temperance. You're coming up again. I love the word curiosity and allowing ourselves to be curious every day. Meh. Meh. Let's see. He's come up a bunch. Sponge. It's so much fun to learn. What questions do you have for me? What questions do you have? Do you want to come in? You want to come in? You haven't come in a while, honey. She's getting so big. She hasn't come in so long. Okay. You want to go? There you go, baby. There you go, honey. There you go. What questions do you have for me going into this week? I recorded my all signs reading for the full moon. That's going to be up tomorrow morning. I'm going to focus on twin flames and soulmates this week. She's so special. She knows it's like coming down to time. She's like, it's coming down to time. But what questions do you have for me? How can I best support you going into this week? What is it that I can offer? Yeah, video on soulmates and twin flames, my all signs reading. What else do we got this week? My full moon channeling and healing will be up in my membership groups. Let me know. Let me know how I can best support. If there's questions or if there's requests for videos. Yes, that's definitely, and it's one that we talked about last Monday, and so I feel like it's something. I mean, how many times has the Lovers card come up for us? So I'm gonna do a talk on that and, about that energy, because I've seen in other channelers peripherally for the past few months about how, I call them soul matches in my work, and soul matches, and the counterpart journey is, yes, it really is. So, I had a whole download. It's on my longer range transit playlist, 2024 to 2027. It's called The Changing of the Guides. And I talk about, the soul matches and different things like that. But I've seen in other channelers' work, so it's just not just my download, but this is a time where matches are coming together and experiencing, just like the full moon that we have coming up in the house of relationships. It's experiencing, source, spirit, God, universe, whatever label you had for that in another. And I find that, the way that we feel about ourselves is reflected in the people that we have in our lives. Because if I love myself, I will be surrounded by people that love themselves. If I'm working on myself, I will be naturally surrounded by people that work on themselves. There are seasons where we have to set healthy boundaries. So I'm not talking just about that, but in a very general, broad brushstroke way, the way that we feel about ourselves will be reflected in the people that we surround ourselves with. So I find that right now, with it being such a potent time of clarity, things just coming in hot, things that we, put on our vision board just manifest within a minute. And so this says to me, if you're meant to be experiencing this next coming season, kind of like what Jonathan said at the beginning, it feels like the calm before like a storm, but I feel as though like a new season, a new chapter, whether it's like whatever it may be for you. It feels as though a lot of souls are meant to experience the next season with a counterpart, with another. And based on the way that you've been working on yourself and the way that you feel about yourself, that's how you're going to attract and connect to another person. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? But it's been probably a few months now that the Lovers card has come up. And, there's many interpretations of that card in and of itself. It's not always perceived as lovers. Sometimes it's called the lover, where it's making a choice. It's the card of Gemini. And so I really, beautiful. Yes, 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 yes. New season phase. And if want someone to join in with me or continue solo. Exactly, exactly. So this really could be a time where, and you get to decide. Like, you get to decide every bit of this world, we get free will. And so when we align our thoughts, words, actions, and intentions, I just love the way that that flows. I've been saying it for so long. That it's not an auto, but it's like, the way. So it's like I get an idea, I've decided, and I've set the intention, but my actions don't match it, then something's out of alignment. But if every bit of your thoughts, words, actions, and intentions are in alignment to connect to a person in this world, you can't. Oh my God, it was on my notes from the universe, the Tut app, where it was like, you can't kid yourself. Like, the universe doesn't kid itself for that for forever. So when you set those intentions and you complete those mantras and you focus on what it is that you're doing and you use the tools that you have that are available to you, you can't not experience it. You can't not experience it. I was listening to the beginning part of a podcast, and it was a Chris Williamson podcast, where it was like, yes, we can have certain things, but it's like, he used the analogy of, we can have, if we want to be, the business owner, the entrepreneur, yes. But if I, am only 5'5" and I want to be like a 6'7" basketball player, that I can't do that. I can't do that. So it's being aware of what it is that you can actually focus. Is that making sense? Where it's like being not rational and irrational, because I kind of want you to have a dream that scares you, but it's being aware that I am the one to do this. This is another whole rabbit hole we could go down. Or am I doing the things that I was told that I was supposed to do? So this has kind of gone off on a little bit of a tangent, but we could talk about that another time. But yes, soul mate, soul match, twin flame. I want to talk about all of the labels. So that will be a video for this week. If there's anything else that you'd like me to talk about, I'm definitely really fascinated by rest and what that means for us. So I'm probably going to write a blog about that. And I think that's it. What's a twin flame? That's a really great question, Jess. And I'll incorporate, my perspective on twin flames in my video, Be Your Authentic Self and Attract the Right People. Exactly, Jonathan. It's a whole perspective, and it is not a language that I use. So to be honest, in the video, I feel as though that it's kind of saying that, like, you're one flame that came into this earth as one, and when you meet, you're whole. So it's kind of, again, like a soulmate, like you're the other side of the coin coming together. Sometimes I've seen perspectives, and this is my perspective and opinion, this is not doctrine, but it means like when you come together, like the flame itself is full on. Again, it's not a perspective that I use, nor do I entertain in my own practice. I like the term soul match because we can attract people based on the way that we feel about ourselves. But I would do some research on the twin flame, because it's not, I feel as though it can become dangerous language. I know that there's been, oh my God, what are they called? Like groups, there's been, cults made because of twin flames. Like, I'll make sure that you find your twin flame. And it's like, it can be a very dangerous language because it says that you're not complete, that you're not a complete being. But yeah, I'm going to have a lot to say in the video because I want us to remind ourselves that we're whole, that we are whole. And our work is to be a complete being and a complete person. And we can match with someone and say, our beliefs align, our values align, and I can run, my whole self and be the best version of myself for me and also for you. Whereas I can feel safe to connect with you, but I'm also not deterred from living my own life and pursuing my own dreams and being my whole full self in a relationship. I hope that makes sense. I hope. I agree with you. You can absolutely have a soulmate twin flame, but that person will open your heart so much so you see the beauty and love in everything. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, Jane. That's absolutely beautiful. I appreciate that. It's very, I feel as though right now being able to express ourselves about all of these have to go now. Good to see you, Jubilee. Enjoy cooking. Let me know what you make. I'm so excited. It can be, I never want any of you to feel as though that you're not, it, it's like such a interesting, dangerous type of a mentality to be like, until I meet someone, then I can this. Or once I meet someone, then I'm this. Whereas you are so worthy and full and abundant and delightful and delicious and wonderful as yourself. Like I said at the beginning, it doesn't mean that you won't have moments of desires to share the human experience with another, but really falling in love, it's finding a balance. It is definitely a balance, and not growing and learning to love myself first. Beautiful, beautiful. That's huge. That is huge. And it's really finding that balance of the tiptoe of not like, I don't want to be like, I can do everything myself. I don't need anybody. I can do this on my own. Some people are actively choosing to be solo. Some people are actively choosing to be more in that monk space and, in that hermit space right now. And that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. But reminding yourself that you are allowed to experience those human emotions, it doesn't mean that anything's wrong with you. Hedwig and the Angry. Yes, 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 yes. Origin of love. I love that. I love that. It doesn't mean, and I'll talk about this in the video. I want you to really take this in, that if you were with yourself right now, not solo, not alone, not without, but with yourself, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. There've been many seasons of life of mine where I would go to bed every night and be like, well, you weren't the most abundant, beautiful version of yourself because you did not bump into him and you did not put yourself in the right environment and you didn't wear your hair right and you didn't do this right and you weren't this enough and I got to work on myself and I got to do this and I got to do this. And I would get in that repetitive, like, I got to become the best version for that person. I got to become the best version for this. Whereas becoming the best version, the most authentic version of yourself for you matters more than anything. Because if you don't love you and if you don't enjoy spending time with you, doesn't matter. Nobody else is going to want to. You got to love that time with yourself. You got to love that time that you get to spend with yourself, doing things that you love, and then getting to share that with another. I think that makes sense. But I'll talk more about it in the video. If there's anything else, yes, exactly, Jane. Everyone is our soulmate. Sybil's my soulmate. All of y'all are my soulmates, family, friends, everyone. Exactly. If they're in your paradigm, you're connected. So if there's anything else that you'd like me to focus on this week, please let me know. If not, I will follow my flow and see what comes up, and I will have my all signs reading posted tomorrow for the full moon that's coming up on Saturday or Sunday, depending on where you are on the planet. So happy Mercury going direct, everyone. I'm so grateful for you being here. Happy full moon week. Please call, text, email if there's anything that you need, and I will see you all again next Monday. Have a beautiful day.